Let's tread boldly.
This is Tread Boldly, Leadership Lessons from the Saints, with Father Nathan Cromly.
Hey, thanks for having me back again. As a Catholic priest, I just love talking about Jesus. I love listening to him, speaking about him, making him known. And I want to reflect with you now about an aspect of his life that I find particularly powerful and beautiful. It's the freedom that is in his soul. Now, usually when we talk about freedom in Christ, we talk about the freedom that he gives us. And I think that that's really, really important. But I think we'll understand that freedom even more when we see how Jesus lived it himself. I think that more than anyone else, Jesus was the man born free. And this is really important for us to study because when you look at the way that Jesus attracted Simon Peter to become this incredible foundation for his church and this amazing saint, the leader of the 12 apostles. I mean, that's saying something, right? When I talk about leadership, try being the leader of the 12 apostles of the church. That's like the leader of leaders. And what's so great about Simon Peter is that he was the leader of leaders and was such a great leader because he was such a great follower, a follower of Christ. But you see, following Jesus is not an easy thing to do because Jesus didn't allow Simon Peter to simply be a member of the crowd, doing what Jesus said, admiring Jesus from the outside. He wanted Simon Peter to follow him from the inside, to do and live what Jesus did and lived. You see, a lot of us would like to just be able to be anonymous Christians. You go to church, you acknowledge that God is true, you say the right words, you do the right rituals, and then you live a life separated from God. You acknowledge that he's real, that he's fantastic, but you don't become God-like yourself. Because then, in a sense, it's safe. We can say the truth, we can know the truth, but we don't have to put ourselves on the line. And I think Simon Peter went through a little bit of this stage in his own development as a leader. He was in awe of Jesus. I mean, when Jesus stood on the shore in Matthew chapter 4 and said to Simon Peter, "Come follow me, I will make of you a fisher of men," he left his nets in the water and followed him. This was an expensive loss. I mean, those nets had to be made by hand. They were made out of plant fibers that were woven together or fused together into a rope. And then the rope had to be designed in a way with weights so that you could throw it into the water and it would sink around the fish. And then you'd have to be able to cinch that net shut and then haul it into shore. There was a whole mechanism and technology to the thing, and he left it in the water. I mean, it's clear that he was attracted to Jesus. But for some reason, that wasn't enough to allow him to leave fishing as a way of life for good. Because we find him in Luke chapter 5 back in his boats for a final time. And it's only there in Luke chapter 5 that Peter definitively leaves fishing behind for good. So what was Peter doing during this time between Matthew 4 and Luke 5? He left his nets in the water and followed Jesus immediately, as did James, John, and Andrew. And for a time period, they went through Galilee watching Jesus and seeing the incredible deeds he was performing. It was an amazing part of his development as a leader to be able to admire and hold in high esteem the one whom he was following. He watched Jesus drive demons out of men. He watched entire crowds of people be mesmerized at his words. He heard teaching that was far beyond anything he had heard before. He saw Jesus for who he was, the one sent by God, healing, teaching, bringing redemption to the world, and spreading knowledge of the kingdom. Jesus was free, and he was doing something no one else had ever done, and he was doing it in a way no one else had ever done it. He was awesome to behold, and news of him spread throughout Galilee, all the way to Syria. People were coming in from all over just to be near him because he was unique, new, beautiful, and free. This was an important moment in Peter's life, and I think it's an important leadership lesson for all of us. Do we have people whom we look up to, people that we admire? Do we allow ourselves to admire Christ, to revere him, to honor him and show him respect? Do we allow what he did to really be an example for us? I mean, what a way of life to be a Christian, to proclaim the kingdom of heaven and a love that never ends and a life that is eternal. Do we believe it? Are we willing? I think that in order for us to tread boldly in our faith, we need to spend time like Peter, simply falling in love with Christ. He was a man who did what no one had done before. He was free because he loved, and he wants us to do the same.